Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, you're catching me on my Bitchute channel, and you can get me on my Facebook business page, all at True Divine 44. You can also go to The True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, and follows. And of course, most of all, comments are greatly, greatly appreciated. I love you all. To the people who continuously do that and have conversation with me, I always try and reply to each one that I can. Sorry I missed yesterday, so I had to just take some recoup time, burning the candle at both ends, as we all are many times in our life. And I'm really bad at doing that, in that it's something that I continuously try to grow from. I take time out, obviously, to meditate. I take time out, but I'm even working then. I take time out in the sleep realm, but even then, I'm exploring and going everywhere that I can throughout the cosmos and into places that I can't even describe to you as the cosmos or anything else other than strange and wonderful places. So I do, but in my daily life, and that's all well and good. I know how to rest the body while I'm busy in spirit. But I do, like many of you, I think, I don't know, I'm continuously maybe trying to prove something to myself, most of all, because I tend not to try and prove anything to other people. I learned that lesson a long time ago. But I'm constantly, I had to stop yesterday and say, whoa, Jenny, whoa, hold that horse a second. I can't remember the last time I just sat down, just for sitting down's sake. And that is me, that I'm a Gemini sun, Aquarius moon, and then a Gemini rising. There's a lot of activity and wanting to learn and wanting to accomplish and get things done there. But you do have to be kind to the body as well. And that's something, particularly with sleep and overworking, that's something that I have to rebalance myself at often. So I'm going into that because I felt some of you guys that are going to listen to this could really resonate with that and know that argument that you have with self that I've just described of, like, whoa, you need to stop for a bit. You need to just do. And I've got to admit, yesterday I didn't just do nothing as my body was telling me to. Yesterday I should have done, and I didn't. I still tried to get other things done. Well, if I'm not doing this, then I can get that done. And so for those that resonate with this bit, which is separate from the reading today, but those that resonate with this bit, you've got nothing to prove, and neither have I, even to ourselves. Maybe we've got to get that in balance for those that resonate with me on this one. And so I'm with you on that, continuously trying to balance that out, continuously trying to practice what I preach. And that's something that I struggle with. And I do well for other people who love me to say, stop, Jenny, just stop. And my mom does that to me often. Not too often, because she knows most of the time I won't listen to that. But often enough when she sees me drained, she'll say, Jenny, come on, stop. And so if you haven't got anybody in your life that I'm blessed with, like that with my mom, I'm telling you, stop. It's okay. You can have that time. You can take that time out to rest the body, so it can serve you better tomorrow or even next week, if that's how much rest you need to take it. And so that's that. So this is part of the free content that I put out. It is where I use my energy work and my tarot work that I do, as well as my psychic knowings, to bring you readings for the day to help you recognize the energies within you, around you, and within others. Take what resonates. It is general, and this one is for the 9th of the 12th. Wow, 2020, drawing close to the end of 2020. So we've got a powerful reading, and we've got the sun. Hi, you know, cue the hallelujah, you know, song. So we've got the sun, and so this is a benevolent card. This is, you know, the sun on your back. This is finding, I think, in current circumstances, finding the innovative ways that this mess that overall has been 2020, finding the jewels and gems that are reflecting that light, you know, just within the ground as the sun hits them, for you to find, finding different ways forward. For a long time, I think the sun energy is trying to remind us that for a long time, those that are in the know, those that haven't been in a coma, not literally, but you know, in a knowing coma, then we've wanted and known we've needed change in so many directions for a long time. And so to not just fall for the psyops that is trying to let you know that the powers that be or other people that are controlling your life a lot, even if it looks like benevolence, but you feel that control, you feel that oppression, to not fall into that psyops that they are the ones that have to make those decisions, that they are the ones that are actually in control. While we feel this coup of humanity really amping up, and for those in the knowing have seen and felt and even researched, you know, the extent that is going to lock humanity down as we go into this next cycle. We then have to say that this is our opportunity, because while they are working so hard to lie and deceive, and the sun is still shining, nature's still rolling, and there's something about the sun energy that is, I don't know, changing in itself, or maybe the frequency that we have in our reality, maybe the frequency, the fact that that is lifting, and there is this separation, and there is this ability of part of humanity that has separated itself into letting go of everything in order to see what is true and what is not. This is where I really feel that frequency is lifted and being liberated to a great extent. And maybe that's something to do with the extra, I want to say nutrition, but you know, somebody who knows science more, knows the sun more, understands it more, would have a more technical term for what I'm trying to describe, in that it almost feels like it's giving those people that have lifted their frequency into this more knowing state, into this more enlightened state, which is the sun card. It's giving them a different frequency, a different benevolence. It's matching the frequency change. You know, it's giving 50-50. You give it, and this gives it. You know, the sun gives it. It's a reciprocity there. And so this is super powerful and super exciting for me, because, you know, we need some reprieve. We need this. Now, this isn't to say that the sun card comes out and all the obstacles disappear. No, I think the sun in this, the benevolence of this sun energy today is that it gives you the enlightenment and the warmth, the going forward. You know, it's always easier to exercise, you know, when it's warm. It gives you the temperature to be able to see through the lies, see through the deceit, but more so concentrate on what the newness can be to bring forward into harvest. The sun energy is, you know, make hay while the sun shines, you know, make something of it, you know, take it in a different direction. And so we've got the Three of Cups to clarify this sun card. And so this is beautiful, because this is where we see that there is reason to celebrate here. There's very good opportunities here to, in our individual lives, see where the celebration needs to take place. Now, one thing I want to say is, you know, for those that know the actual psyop and story behind Christmas, we have a family day. And that's when I came into more knowing about what that holiday brings. So I'm not going to let them take that away from me or the children, but we can have a family day anytime. But the world stops. It gives us that opportunity to celebrate together, to be together. Now, one thing this sun energy is to say that I shine no matter what. I shine and I touch my family, my people, my plants, my animals. I touch them and I'm with them. And so there is nothing that can tell me not to shine on them. There's nothing that can tell me not to celebrate with them, not to be with them. And so this is where almost as well this frequency change and this liberation to say you are a divine being in your own right. And for as far as the collective stage goes, what right has anybody got to be telling me what a family member I can see or not see, hug or eat with, or break bread with? There's no right at all. It's just the illusion of it, and the only way that it works is if we give consent to it. And so, we're coming into the enlightenment that these people are being paid for old rope, and they're hanging themselves on it, but only if we defy what is not logical and what is not of our greatness, of our good, that we have this togetherness with family and friends. And so this is not the permission, but just the backup to say that you're not wrong. You be with your family, celebrate, but see the gifts within all of this. See the actual opportunities within all of this. The innovation that can come forward through this, while the powers that be for now are distracted playing their silly games. And whoever wants to play those games with them and give consent at this point, what can you do? The separation is real. But to say that we are not going to enjoy this reality, to enjoy the sun coming up every day in its beauty, in its fire, in its colors, and casting those colors onto what was the dark night just minutes before it comes up. It's a magical sight. So to reconnect with the more animalistic, in a good way, part of yourself, in that to be more connected with, not with the illusion of the propaganda and the politics and the religion, but of going back to what we used to know how to do, and that was to recognize and work with the beings around us. That is the sun, that is the people, that is the nature, the beings everywhere that we are absolutely intrinsically connected to, but that this life has been manipulated and controlled into this social media avatar style life that isn't real to us. And that's why we're getting into so many problems with it. But I'm going off the energy of this. Sorry. The energy of this is your enlightenment isn't wrong, and the sun beating on your back like it is in this guy's back on the card here. The warmth that the family members bring you, that the friends bring you, the warmth that you can bring yourself right now is huge, and it's always there. And it's even more huge because by doing so, you're not giving consent out to the powers that be, that should not be the powers. You're given that divine electromagnetic frequency to say, no, this is my logic, this is my knowing, this is my intuition, this is my place that my waters are taking me to, and they're taking me right to my family regardless. And we are in togetherness with that. We're gonna break bread, we're gonna laugh, we're gonna eat, we're gonna sing, we're gonna cuddle, we're gonna do all of the things that families should do. So this is really important and beautiful to see as I come back after a day off yesterday. Now the next card is the number 5, the Hierophant. And so this is yet another major arcana. And you can see the 2 pillars of knowledge beside him, and you can see these 2 people listening, waiting for his word, waiting for his knowledge being given to them. And this is where the saying would go with this card of eyes to see and ears to hear. This Hierophant energy, the information is always there. The information is in the DNA. The information is, just a hop, skip, and a jump to your ancestors to ask them to activate that part of your DNA, to activate a remembrance. You know, in the spirit realm, there's this wealth of knowledge, and so what we see here is the Hierophant can come up in readings, and it represents the exoteric, esoteric, and mesoteric. And so with this exoteric part of it, this is the religion. And, you know, it gives you the knowledge that the religion is nothing but a business plan that suits the powers that be way of thinking. That, you know, that Christianity was built upon a king's wanting and a few nobles wanting. To the point where actually Christianity, you know, brought about the pagan Christmas holiday because it wanted to entice more people into the church. That's a business plan. That's advertising. That's trying to draw people in with you know, gimmicks. And so they actually took on the Christmas holiday for that very reason. And then they didn't like it because they realized the revelry that went on at the time, and you know, the distinct unchristian ways of this holiday. And so then they tried to ban it, and actually America was the last people, the last country in Christianity to it stood its ground the longest against Christmas. And they actually sneaked in Christmas through the Sunday service for children by giving treats, by saying you can be in a play and you can tell the story. So literally this was a takeover, a coup, and they did it through the children. And what are we seeing now? We're seeing takeovers and coups regarding, I'm going to go into that in a different video, but yes. So they fit it's a business plan to fit the narrative of the day. And this is changing. This is where we see that speech that I've gone on about after I've done a reading and then found that speech of Archbishop Vigano, one of the three. Talking about, literally talking about, and it wasn't on mainstream news, it didn't get shouted about, but literally saying the church has been under a coup, under attack. Governments have been under a coup, under attack, and now we realize that we almost are surplus to requirements, you know, we're worried. And so this is what, and it's not that I don't want that to happen, of course I do, the damage that the churches and organized religion in itself have done. But they have been harnessed by the beings that we see, the generations that we've seen in the powers that be. And then they've been usurped, harnessed, and taken over, like we see every movement. So this energy today with that sun card is super powerful to say, stand in your divinity, stand in your esoteric spirit, stand in your mesoteric, the individual about you, rather than going into something that is external, that is a lie, that is a business plan that suits the time and day. You know, if this was real, we would have had one religion from and it would have been the only thing that had been around from day one. The dates would be right, you know, the story would be cohesive, the teachings and the actions of that religion would be cohesive to their message. But we haven't had that. We don't see that, and we will not see that, because the exoteric is the teachings of the day. And so the teachings that fit the narrative of the people who are powerful enough to bring them about. And this offends me greatly, because it plagiarizes what can be known in spirit. It plagiarizes the message of knowing more about who we are and the expansive beings that we are, and puts people in boxes. And so there's a real energy today of more messages coming out. Look out for this regarding organized religion in itself. People whistle blowing on organized religion, or indeed more speeches along the lines of Vigano's, I don't know, I'll put the link in the description box. Please watch it. coming out and being worried about them again, being usurped, having this coup, recognizing what's been happening, and actually they're now going to be a little bit old for the new plans of the globalists coming into the age of Aquarius. And so look out for this. And it's the reminder of to be connected with nature, to be connected with the beings around you, to be connected in spirit and the physical, on all levels, to not put yourself into anything that is a box that'll box you in the external, because then you're open to things changing and you're being in trouble. And so on top of this is clarified by the Eight of Wands. Now this has kept coming up in the daily readings recently, and this is all about going forward, movement forward, and we are rolling into this. For those that aren't distracted, observant, yes, but not distracted by the current circumstances and the psyops that's going on around that. There are real messages to be heard. There are real things to be seen to show that the cycles move on regardless. The wheel keeps turning regardless. Depending on where you are in flow or in restriction, you could either go with that wheel or you could either be spun off, to go to the bottom again. And so again, we're seeing more of this separation, the belief systems, the people in spirit, the sides. But there's messages coming through this for those with this sun energy, to be able to see and hear it and be able to discern that, you've just overplayed your hand. You've just told me something that actually fits now with the research or the psychic knowing, the intuition that I've already had. And so look out for these huge revelations coming through about this. A lot about the Middle East. It feels like I'm no good with what so-called race. I'm no good with knowing where people are from, but I'm seeing a Middle Eastern man when I'm talking about this, speaking out regarding inside information, confirming a lot for a lot of you. So look out for that, and please leave a comment and let me know. I love knowing more. And in true Gemini form, leave a comment if you come across something that I may not have time to do, or that I just don't see. It's great to have that confirmation. I really do appreciate it as a reader, as an energy worker, and as an intuitive. So it gives me oomph, to keep going on. So there's huge messages coming out here. Now, it may be that in your individual lives, people really show their hand about just how brutal they can be if you don't fit their organized religion or even their organized atheist views. There's something here that, to just be aware of. And I think even when you're aware of it and you can look at this and maybe remember my words when this comes up, if this resonates with you and if this comes up for you, is to have the understanding that, especially for people who are going to have this with family members and friends who have got this from in a defensive state of their organized religion, they're energetically feeling or maybe hearing some of these messages that you've got to try and remember when you're looking at this person, no matter how vehement they might be, that they're almost like a child where the parent is abandoning them, or this parent that you've put all of your energy into, that you've given all of your trust to, to all of a sudden just be, looking like a weak person in the corner getting attacked. It makes that child, and in this case, the adults, feel vulnerable. It makes them like a cornered animal wanting to lash out. And so if they're doing that with you, it would show that to me that you're their only safe place in order to be able to do that. And so it's almost, to look at it that way, it's almost able to give you more of a compassion towards it rather than an anger towards it, or a reaction that way towards it. But it just helps maybe to see where it's coming from and recognize where it's coming from and know that it's got very little to do with you. And it, like always, it's more to do with how they are feeling, and they're feeling very intimidated, very insecure, you know, like they're going to fall off the face of the earth. So take note of that, and I hope that helps in that situation. But there is this movement forward and this changing of the guard, particularly in the esoteric realm of the energy of this Hierophant card, in that the church and stuff has filled its purpose for what was needed. You know, people got distracted enough putting things into the external. But now, you know, we've got people distracted enough basically through social media, through all of these other things, that, you know, this avatar life, that we don't need you anymore. And it's this globalist elite sector that is serving higher beings to them. And I've been coming across these beings more and more and more. And I will talk about it when I know the time's right. And so there's this changing of the guard, and we need to usurp that. We need to do a coup to that, and we do that by being in our divinity, by acting in our divinity, going about our life, and not giving power to these bullies. What happens when you've been bullied at school for a long time, and then all of a sudden you stand up and say, you know what, actually, you know, that threat you've been making, that end of my world, where you're going to kill me, where you're going to fight me, where you're going to hurt me, let's just get it over with. In most cases, you see the bully back off and think, oh, what the hell, you know, why are they, what's going on here? It freaks them out. And this is what we need to be doing here in our own lives, so that we send that frequency out and that physical message out to say, no, not moving this way. We've waited long enough for Aquarius. You're not spoiling this one. No, you know. So we've got the next card as the King of Wands. Now, this is the King of the people. So this is a people energy. So this reading is a lot about recognizing, observing, and knowing what is going on. That's imperative right now. And it just is how it is. We have to be observant and vigilant right now as to what's going on and what they're trying to bring about. But we actually, with the reading is more so about, by doing that, we don't do what they do and just go on the attack. We lead by example, by seeing the family and friends, and knowing the importance of acting in how we choose to act, i.e. being in celebration with them, being in togetherness with them, and not giving power to this these bully boys and girls. You know, taking that power away by seeing the importance. The King of Wands sees this. He is the king of the people. He's compassionate. He's the funny energy. He's the light-hearted energy. Now, yes, he can bring the authority because he is very much the fatherly energy. But he brings that authority by, he's not just if he was a parent, again, he would not be the authoritative form that would always punish if things weren't good enough. You know, he'd find a way to teach the lesson to the child through play, through constructive criticism, through being able to say, well, yeah, that was a great attempt, but let's show you how to use this tool this way. And let's have fun doing it. Let's make something out of this. So there's a creative side here. He's warm, he's fire, and he brings that authority in a way of, not that these bully boys and this organized religion have brought this authority, but it's the more natural authority, that fire, that you can know that this energy is powerful. You know that this energy has got your six, it's got your back, it's got you firm, but at the same time, you can have fun with it. You don't have to be frightened of this energy. And so this might be you that I'm talking about, if this resonates with you. And if this is, you are serving a great role to the people around you and putting out a great frequency. Or you might be, you know, blessed enough in your life that you have this person around you, the energy of this person around you. If so, lift them up because they are serving a great purpose in your life. And you can really do that by, you make their heart happy by smiling and having fun with this Sun card and this Three of Cups. You lift them up literally by giving them that, by giving them your happiness, or just allowing them to witness your happiness in their presence. That this is the kind of fatherly energy that this King of Wands is. He's a great communicator, but again, communicates in a way that isn't aggressive, isn't offensive, but does get the point across very well, and more so by just taking his fire where he's led to take it, doing it through his actions. So that's very important to acknowledge. If you are this, give yourself this pat on the back. If you have this in your life through somebody else, give them a great big hug and pat them on the back too. That energy feedback is something beautiful today for you guys, whatever side you fall on. So the World card comes up to clarify this King of Wands, and this is a beautiful. We have the Sun card at the start, and then we're ending this with the World card, in that this cycle is moving. This secular pattern is moving. The seasons are moving. And for those that resonate with this reading, you are building a world just through the actions that you're taking, the knowings that you get in, the liberation that you're receiving, the restrictions that you're bolding through and breaking down those walls. You are actually part of building a world that is that of excuse me, true compassion, true enjoyment, true love, true happiness, the opportunity to see the bliss that is available when we just, erase these people, these powers that be from our mindset, and act in a more sovereign and divine way. And so this is a beautiful energy. This gives us the reconnection that you are doing the right thing, that you're reconnecting with all of the cardinal signs, all of the fixed signs, the things that happen in cycles regardless, the transition of those things, and you're moving through them beautifully. You're doing great work within, and therefore it's showing on the outside. The Sun card's coming up and the World card is coming up as a promise to say that, yes, if you fall into the trap, if you fall into the psyop of fear and illusion that is built to create their world that they want to see, that they've had for too long, then you're not going to get a reading like this. But if you're making the steps within to do the work within, and then focusing on the within, standing in the within, you then stand firm like this King of Wands, not in an aggressive way, not in an offensive way, just in a I'm just being way. And you really put out this frequency of, no, this is the world I'm building. I go by nature. I'm connected to nature. I'm connected to the seasons. I'm connected to those things that are not restrictions, but things that I have to work in reciprocity with, things that I have to work with. You wouldn't plant certain seeds in a certain season and expect them to grow. There's this energy of this feedback of being more part of the cycle rather than being detached from the real world that's always been out there, that is there to enjoy. But we've allowed this God, these powers that be, to create this glass ceiling, and therefore an illusionary world of their making. Well, we're dreaming up fabulous worlds today, and if this resonates with you, high five to you, spuds to you, because you are rocking it. You're doing this, you're moving through into this energy of Aquarius, lifting the restrictions, feeling the liberation, and standing firm against those that want to box us back in. So it's a powerful, powerful card on the bottom of the deck. You wouldn't believe it, but this is a hugely powerful day for people. For some reason, the energy is just lit today for the people that are lifting their frequency, understanding more, seeing more, but then also still being able to go back to the importance of smiling, go back to the importance of laughing and carrying on, what would seem to be just because, but it puts out a frequency that is so beautiful and such a break from what we've been used to for too long. So we have the Judgment card again. So this judgment card has kept coming up. If this is the first time that you're finding me, it's kept coming up. But to come in conjunction with the Sun card, the Hierophant, the World card, this is huge in that this is a real nod to you, that this energy of this judgment card was telling you, the trumpet call was telling you to go along. You know what you're here to do. Intuitively, you feel the direction you're supposed to be going in. You know you came here to help do something, for instance, like liberate this realm from the prison realm that it's become. And so we see here that, you know, this is Moses, and it's not that I really agree with the character. I think he was a brute. But this is, for me, going away from that has become this restriction, this organization, false organization, you know, of cells, of literally creating false bodies for us to then enter into different organized religions, different political sides, and then be boxed in, be hemmed in. So this is, for me, actually, that when you just lift your frequency before you've done this, when you're in the knowing that you need to move in a certain direction, but your frequency is still low, you're still confused, you still need things to unfold a little bit more for your intuition. You look at this sea and it's like, well, I can't get past that. I can't get past this lack mentality. I can't get past this relationship that is abusive. I can't get past this liberation of belief systems, or I can't get past this law. Those that are in this frequency that resonate with this reading, it's clicking now, like, oh, I remember thinking that. I remember wondering, well, what are they talking about, the secret? What are they talking about from within and then without? You know now, this is clicked in that you look at this sea and it's not impenetrable anymore. It separates for you. It does as you ask. It's that relationship with nature. It finds a way for you. Life finds a way for you when you match with that frequency that is of life. So this is a huge day, and I'm so proud of all of you that this resonates with. I'm so in awe of people who move through these transitions. Sorry, on the bottom of the other deck is the Six of Coins, and this is the generosity, reciprocity. On the collective stage, watch out for what looks like generosity is a trap, for what looks like benevolence, i.e. giving you some money to help get you by. It's your money in the first place that was stolen through taxes, through lies, through deceit, through wars. And they're going to claim it back at a later date, one way or the other, or they're going to box you in regarding it. So be careful of what generosity is and looks like. Again, all that glitters is not gold. But at the same time, there's this underlying current with that Three of Cups of people coming together and really showing true generosity from a pure place in their heart, and having true reciprocity from true places, from divine places in their hearts. So, you know, be discerning as to what is deceit, but you'll feel this energetic feedback, and don't doubt it on either side of the coin. You'll be able to discern this. What is that of kindness and benevolence, true benevolence with this Sun card, and what is actually something that's trying to, like the candy at the original Christmas time, and like the candy at Halloween, trying to entice you in like a child, to say, it's okay, you know, come and knock on my door, I'll give you candy. No, you've got real people around you that this generosity is being shown through, and this is beautiful. This is the real generosity, the real reciprocity, the real balancing of the scales. And so with that being said, oh my goodness, the Sun card is directly under this. So I've got to say this, the Sun card being there and the Sun card catching my eye here. Do not cut yourself off from the intuitive knowing that I feel a lot of you are having, that there is more connection and more support than there is oppression. We just need to feel it and see it and be within it, you know, be in spirit and experience this as it should have been always experienced. This physical reality through our spirit controlling this avatar, as real as it gets, navigating through the enjoyment of being here, the real gems that are here to unfold, to communicate with, to be with. Oh wow, this is beautiful. Now, just quickly before you go, I know this is a long video. The Tower card keeps popping out when I was shuffling. Now, it was after I'd done the initial reading. I just kept falling down, and I take notice of myself when things like that happen. Obviously, sometimes it's just falling down, but it wasn't that. So the Tower card here keeps coming up. So I'm just going to clarify this, because I've got a feeling it's got more to do with the collective stage rather than individualized. But of course, we know that this affects our individual life directly. So we need to take note of it. So you can see that, you know, this tower is being built. It's very tenuous. It's the scaffolding's breaking down and hurting people. Excuse me. As it comes down, people are falling from what seemed sturdy and strong to it's falling down. Now the Tower card comes up when, you know, things that aren't real, things that were built up on rocky foundations, things that ego, you know, every brick, every boulder built up by ego, and things that, you know, you cling on to for dear life, but that are not real, that are built up of illusion, that are built up of a projection of so we want to clarify this regarding the collective stage. Wow. Ace of Swords. So there's that information that I was talking about with that Hierophant, Three of Swords, that information and the Death. So that information that I was talking about regarding the Hierophant and information coming out in particular regarding organized religions, look out for this, because and this is going to give you huge clarity and a huge, oh my goodness, that was such a fakery, such a fraud, that I can hear people saying that. So this Ace of Swords gives you the capacity to see the head of the snake, to see where this illusion came in, to see what's been actually happening here with these different towers, these different, what's that name? The Tower of Babel, you know, where they wanted to reach the God or something by building a tower, for goodness sake. And that was just an oppressive symbol to the people, to say that they can do this, you can't, I feel. But it was built up of illusion. It was built up of the exoteric group of people trying to put a box and a label on spirituality at the time to fit their narrative, I feel. And this has continued on through organized religion and politics. So you're going to see the heads of the snakes. You're going to really see the plan unfold before your eyes on the political stage and on the organized religion stage and organized charities. I feel I can hear that. What is, please, if anybody knows, the WWF charity, because I can see those letters. I can see those letters very clearly. And so with that being said, we have the Three of Swords. So it does bring about pain for some people, but you see here that it's only really painful for those that still have their eyes closed and their ears closed and are still in this deep comatose sleep regarding what is going on, what has been going on, and what will go on if they don't make a stand. And you can see the snake exposing itself just ever so slightly from the shield, yet none of these people have noticed it, because they're all in fear, they're all in pain. The Three of Swords is pain, wounds, fear, the swords being mental, but the mental actually affecting the heart chakra here. On other decks, it's a heart with three swords stabbed through it. On this one, we see the head of the snake being exposed here, the tower of it, crumbling down, the illusion of it crumbling down more so. And we see, for those who can see the snake emerging, it's not quite so hurtful, it's more liberating, it's more it's more of a case of, okay, yeah, we can move with this. But for the people who, like I mentioned in the reading, who have been bought and sold, who have been really into this, really believed what they were being told, for them, they still can't see the snake. Now, this might make you feel like you're going crazy for those that have got their eyes to see and ears to hear, because we can see the snake very clearly. But the people that have been within this, the sun actually feels it. The sun feels like it's almost burning them. So where we're feeling the energy of the sun, that is enlightenment, that is benevolence, the exposure and the enlightenment of the thing that they have bought into, have given so much to, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, they're in such pain, and they can't even, the sun has actually given them sunburn here. You know, they can't, they're not even feeling the benevolence of the clarity with that Ace of Swords and that crashing down of this illusionary tower. They're just feeling the pain, and that's how it is. You know, there's a death of something here, and so there's a necessary death here of illusions for people, the most people that possibly can, to transition into newness, to shed a skin like a snake, to grow and expand even more so, to have that the healing energy of rejuvenation, being able to transition. Now, as far as death goes in the physical, look out for a prominent Middle Eastern man being murdered, and a prominent person, the news being out there that a prominent person has died. Again, there's something here to look at within these two deaths, because there's an illusion around them. But for those that can see this snake, it actually brings light to it and actually can cause action being taken towards the offence of murder, of hurt, of harm. So that is the reading for the 9th of December 2020. I appreciate you all. I send love out to you all. Let today be full of revelations, full of excitement, full of liberation, and most of all, full of laughter, because that is what is the most healing thing of all, particularly with the people that we adore. So, mwah, stay whole, stay balanced. I love you all. If you want a personal reading with me, or if you want any spiritual guidance, or if you want any energy work, hook up with me. Please, if you send me a message, send it to the business page on Facebook, True Divine 44. Otherwise, it gets lost in hundreds of messages in Messenger, on my personal page. Or you can send me an email at truedivinemedia@gmail.com. Mwah! Love to you all.